Right. So this is one of the first great teachings of our Lord Hamashiach Yahushua, who the world knows as Jesus Christ. He taught on many different levels. He taught on levels of a large crowd. You know, he taught large group of people at once. You know, he taught people one-on-one, and he also taught small groups. And when you're dealing with that level of teaching, when you're dealing with a large group, you have to be a certain way. You have to speak louder. You have to reach an audience of a multitude of people, not just one person. So you're talking um, broadly, right? You're speaking broadly to a large crowd, and that's what Matthew 5 is pertaining to. Yahushua speaking to a large crowd, one of his first great teachings in the scriptures. Bring that out, King.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 1. And seeing the multitudes, he went up into the mountain, and when he was set, his disciples came unto him. And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
Right. So blessed are the poor, Salakia. So blessed are the poor in spirit. We are the poor in spirit, right? We are the poor in spirit. We don't know our identity. We don't know that we're children of the Most High. We don't know that we the Hebrew Israelites. We don't know our culture. We don't know the laws of the Most High, right? We are a broken people. We are a broken nation of people, man. We are in captivity. We in bondage, man. We in bondage. Our people don't even know we in servitude. We don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? So blessed are the poor in spirit. Why? Because theirs is the kingdom of the Most High. We have the covenant. We have the promises, right? We rich on the inner, but we in poverty though, right? Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of the Most High. Theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Read.
Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted.
Right. Blessed are those that mourn and weep; they shall be comforted. Sonya Masi just lost her life not too long ago. Her family was mourning, man. Right? Her family mourning, still mourning for the loss of their daughter, their sister, their mother, their friend, their companion. Right? But blessed are they that mourn. Why? Because they shall be comforted. How are they going to be comforted? With this word. Right? They're going to be comforted with this word, man. Read.
Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth.
And that's a powerful teaching right there from our Lord Hamashiach Yahushua. And remember, he's speaking to a multitude of people, a large group of people. He's not just talking to somebody one-on-one. He's talking to a plethora of people out there that's listening to him teach for the first time in the scriptures, right? He said, blessed are the meek. To be meek is to be humble, to have humility, right? To be shamefaced, not puffed up with pride, right? Not puffed up with pride because you have a certain type of knowledge that don't nobody else have. Our people got to be humble, man. You got to model yourself after Moses. Moses was the most meekest man in all the earth, right? Moses was the most meekest man in all the earth, meaning you got to be humble. You got to be humble to inherit the earth. To inherit the earth is to have rulership over the whole planet. That's you inheriting the earth. You got to be meek and humble to inherit the earth, man. Hold that and go to 1 Corinthians chapter 8 and verse 1. Baba Kashaf.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 1. Now, as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifieth. And if any
Right.
man, oh,
So point being is we all have knowledge, right? We all have a certain level of knowledge, but guess what? Knowledge can make you prideful. Knowledge can make you boastful. Knowledge can make you look down on another brother or sister because you know something they don't know. Knowledge is a powerful weapon, man. And some people get prideful with the knowledge that they have. You know what I'm saying? We can't be like that. We got to be meek and humble to inherit the earth, right? Finish that off, King.
yes. And if any man think that he knoweth anything, he knoweth nothing, yet as he ought to know. But if any
Right. So,
man,
so,
okay,
so like, so if any man think he know anything, he knoweth nothing as he ought to know. So if you think you got all this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and you think you so mighty and you the smartest man that's dealing with the Bible or the smartest pastor in the church that's dealing with the scriptures, hey man, you don't know nothing, right? Somebody that's going around claiming to know everything, right? You can't tell them nothing, you can't teach them nothing. They don't know nothing, man,
right.
as they ought to know. Read.
Oh. But if any man love God, the same is known of him. As concerning therefore
Right.
the
So if any man love the Most High, Salakia. But if any man love the Most High, the same is known of him. Right. The Most High know those who love him by your works, your deeds, your actions, your speech, your behavior, your mannerism. He know you. Right. If you love the Most High, best believe He know you who you are because you're doing His will, and He cherishes that. Right. Go jumping back to Matthew 5 and verse 6.
book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 6. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled.
Right? So if you hunger and thirst after righteousness, you're gonna be filled because you're gonna seek that righteousness. You're gonna read the word of the Most High. You know you can't live off of bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out the mouth of the Most High. You're gonna seek His face daily, right? And you're gonna want to be better. You're gonna correct yourself when you go off, right? You're gonna humble yourself down and repent when you transgress His law, man. When you're faithless, you're gonna repent because if you don't have faith, that's sin. Right? Those without faith is in sin. You gonna repent for being for lacking faith. Right? Read verse 7.
Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy.
Right, and
Blessed,
that Salaki, that's a powerful precept right there, man. That's a powerful precept. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. You got to show mercy to your people. You got to have compassion. You got to show restraint and resistance and understanding with your people, man. That goes into um that unmerciful servant, right? The unmerciful servant. Let me get that in Matthew. Let me see. Salakia. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 18 and verse 21, to give you an example how our people are when it comes to dealing with their own, right? Now, this Yahweh speaking to a multitude of Israel and his teachings.
this is the book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 21. Then
Mm-hmm.
came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me and forgive him? Till 7 times? Jesus saith unto him, I say not unto thee, until 7 times, but until 70 times 7.
Right. So Peter, Salakia. So Peter came to the Most High, right? Salakia. Peter came to Yahushua and said, "How often shall my brother transgress against me?" Right? Meaning that your brother is breaking the civil laws. He breaking all the laws that go against his neighbor. Oh, he's stealing from you, right? He bearing false witness on you, right? He covets after what you got. So Peter said, Yahushua, hey, how often shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? This nigga keep crossing me. How many times I gotta forget it, Jake, man? He said till 7 times, right? And Yahushua said unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7, right? Meaning continuously forgive your brother, man. Always forgive him. Always, right? Always forgive them. They know not what they do, right? They err not knowing the scriptures. They don't know the severe consequences they got to face from the Most High for trespassing against you all the time, man. Right? Verse 23, read.
Um, Therefore is the kingdom of heaven likened unto a certain king, which would take account of his servants. And when he had begun to reckon, one was brought unto him, which owed him 10,000 talents.
Right. So the king went to collect his money, right? This certain king would take an account of his servants, right? And one of his servants was brought to him, and the servant owed him 10,000 talents. Right? Read.
But forasmuch as he had not to pay, his Lord commanded him to be sold, and his wife and children and all that he had, and payment to be made. The
Right. So
servant,
this servant owed Salakia. So this servant owed a debt to the king. Right. So he didn't pay it. So his king told him, hey, you gotta be sold. Your wife and your children and all you gotta be sold, and the payment gotta be made. This is how you finna pay me off. I'm finna sell you and your household, man. All y'all out of here. Right? That was
wow.
the king's commandment. Read verse 26.
The servant therefore fell down and worshipped him, saying, Lord, have patience with me. I will pay thee all. Then the Lord of that servant was moved with compassion and loosed him and forgave him the debt.
You see that? You see that king, right? He seen this man fall down on his knees, begging him, hey, please have patience with me. I'm gonna pay you your money back. I don't want my family to be sold, right? I'm gonna pay you back. I promise I'm gonna pay you back. Please don't do this to me. I'm trying the best I can. I'm trying to get it right. He humbled himself, and the king was moved to compassion. He was moved he was merciful, right? And he forgave him for his debt. The king didn't have to forgive him for his debt, right?
Right.
But he chose to because the king was in the spirit. If you want to be forgiven, you must forgive. If you holding grudges, hey, the Most High not going to forgive you for your transgression, man. And the king understood that, so he was moved to compassion, and he loosed him. Took the shackles off him, took the handcuffs off him, right, and forgave him of the debt that he owed, because he was about to sell him and his whole household. Right
Right.
now, check this out. Check this out. Verse 28.
But the same servant went out and found one of his fellow servants, which owed him an hundred. What did it say? Fellow servants which owed him 100 pence, and he laid hands on him and took him by the throat, saying, Pay me that thou owest.
Right. So the same servant that was just on his knees begging not for him and his household to be sold, and the king had compassion on him. That same servant, he found one of his fellow servants, one of his brethren, one of his neighbors, right, which owed him some money. His brother owed him some money, and this is how he approached his brother. He laid hands on him. He smote him. He beat him up and grabbed and choked him out, grabbed him by the neck and said, "Pay me what you owe me. I need my bread, nigga. Pay me what you owe me. The king trying to sell me and my family. Give me my money." Right? That's how he approached the situation,
Lakia
which
King.
was wicked as hell. Read. What'd you say, King?
Lakia King. Hey, what I was in the bathroom. I had to use the bathroom. What was that precept?
Matthew
Matthew
18 and 20. We started at 23. We down to 20 30.
28.
28.
28. Yep. Okay, con, the water.
Con. Bring that out again, King. Bring verse 28 out again.
Okay. But the same you want me to start at 27? And so he gets the concept of the
Yeah, so the context of it is this king, it was a certain king. Yahushua going into a parable about this certain king, and one of his servants owed him a lot of money. So he ended up telling the servant, "Hey man, I'm finna sell you and your household, you, your wife, your children. I'm finna sell all y'all so you could pay back this debt. That's the only way I'm gonna get my money back is if I sell y'all." And the servant humbled himself, bowed down, worshiped the king, and said, "Hey, please don't sell my household. I'm gonna pay you back. Please have mercy on me." And the king was moved to compassion. He had mercy on him. He let him go. Right? He forgave him for the debt, meaning he don't have to pay the debt no more. He forgave him for the debt. Right?
Wow.
So this same servant, read verse 28. This is where we at now. This is what that same servant did once he was forgiven for the debt. Verse 28.
After he
but
was
the But the same servant went out and found one of his fellow servants which owed him 100 pence. And he laid hands on him and took him by the throat, saying, "Pay me what thou owest." And
Right?
his
So
servant,
he beat up his he beat up his fellow servant and asked him where his money at, man. Right? Read.
and his fellow servant fell down at his feet and besought him, saying, "Have patience with me, and I will pay thee all." And he would not, but went and cast him into prison till he should pay the debt. Wow.
dirty.
Right. So he was merciless. He was unmerciful. He
Right.
just got showed mercy, right? Like a lot of us. A lot of us get showed mercy from the Most High, but then when it comes to dealing with your people, you merciless. You don't show that same mercy that was just shown to you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And we gotta come out of that spirit, man. Our people gotta get out of that mindset of being ruthless, man. A ruthless mindset. This king just forgave you for your debt, but now you binding your brother in prison because he owe you,
That's crazy.
right? He did the same thing as his fellow servant fell down at his feet and besought him, saying, "Have patience with me, and I will pay thee all." The same thing that he just went through. You would think he had some type of understanding, right? Like, damn, I was just in your shoes, bro. You know what? You good, man. I forgive you for your debt.
Right.
But no, he cast him into prison,
I know people
right?
like that
Read.
right now. I know people that do that, man. Our own people do that.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing, man. You loan a brother $1, and then when it's time to pay it back, they don't pay you. You have mercy on them, and then let you ask for that dollar. They on your ass.
Yeah.
That
Hey,
You gotta
funky old
you gotta
dollar.
borrow it
I'm
back.
gonna need
You
that
gotta borrow it
Friday.
back.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that
need that Friday, brother.
you want he sweat me about this little old funky dollar.
Right.
Wasn't funky when I gave it to you,
Right.
Had deodorant on then, huh?
Right.
Yeah. You want me to
Yeah.
keep reading?
Yeah, read, King.
Okay. So when his fellow servants saw what was done, they were very sorry and came and told unto their Lord all that was done. Then
Right.
his
So his
Lord,
brother, his brethren seen what was done to him, and they like, man, this ain't right, man. This ain't right. We finna go to the king and tell him what's going on. Cause this is not right. Read.
then his Lord after that, he had called him and said unto him, O thou wicked servant, I forgave thee all that debt because thou desired me. Shouldest
Read.
not thou also have had compassion on thy fellow servant, even as I had pity on thee? And his Lord was wroth and delivered him unto the tormentors till he should pay all that was due unto him. So
Right. So
likewise,
so the mercy that Salakia, so the mercy that was given to him, the king took away that mercy. The king had the power to take that mercy away. Why? Because he didn't have mercy on his fellow servant. He was like, you just seen me forgive you for your debt. You desired me to forgive you for your debt. And I did just that. And now you go show your ass and go beat up your brethren about a few dollars that he owe you. What was you didn't learn the lesson that I just basically showed you. The king
right,
taught him a lesson in the midst of his begging for his family not to be sold. The king showed him compassion and mercy, and that was a lesson that was supposed to benefit him down the road, right? That was a lesson that was supposed to benefit the servant down the road. Have this same mercy and compassion, but he didn't show that, right? So his mercy that was given to him, it was taken away. That's why Yahweh Shah said, "Blessed are the merciful, for they shall be shown mercy." Right? But if you're not showing mercy, if you're not merciful, you're not blessed, man. Why? Because the king done deliver him to the tormentors now, and he still got to pay that debt. He took back the forgiveness,
right.
right? Verse 35.
So likewise shall my heavenly Father do also unto you, if ye from your hearts forgave not everyone his brother their trespasses.
Right? Read that again.
So likewise shall my heavenly Father do also unto you, if ye from your hearts forgave not everyone his brother their trespasses.
Right. So the heavenly Father, Yahweh, he show you mercy all day, every day. Right? Now, if you go out here in these streets and be merciless to your brethren, the Most High gonna start taking that mercy away from you.
Right.
See that? If you become merciless, unmerciful to your people, the Most High gonna stop showing you mercy, right? And he gonna deliver you over to the tormentors. Man, he gonna let Satan and his minions have his way with you because you're not recognizing and being grateful for the mercy that you got. So likewise, my heavenly Father do also unto you if ye from your hearts, meaning in your heart, your mind, your thought process, your soul, your inner being. If ye from your heart give not everyone his brothers their trespasses. So you got to
Right.
consider that. This is our Lord teaching us these things, man. Right? Go to the book of Matthew chapter 6 and verse 15.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 15. But if ye forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses.
You see that? But if ye forgive not men their trespasses, their transgressions against you, right? Neither will Yahweh forgive your trespasses, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to consider that. You got to think
Oh,
before you try to harden your heart against your neighbor, man.
con.
Now, if I harden my heart against my neighbor, what's about to transpire with me? How is the Most High finna deal with me if I'm dealing with my people like this,
Oh,
right?
it says that when he did that, his Lord gave him up to the tormentors. So you could pretty much be sure the Most High ain't gonna forgive you. If you ain't doing if you ain't got no forgiveness in your heart towards your brother, and it's in our law, the Most High ain't gonna have forgiveness of you. Surely not forgiveness of sins.
Right. So this is powerful because when you really actually think about it, right? Our Lord Hamashiach Yahushua, he tell us that he has the power to forgive men of their sins, right? Go to the book of Matthew chapter 9 and verse 5, right? Because our Lord has the ability, the power, the authority to forgive sins on earth, right? He has that ability, he has that power. But
You got
that power is also bestowed in us too, man. We also have the power to forgive sins, right? If I have a brother or a sister that trespass against me, they stole something from me, right? They um they transgressed against me by having an evil eye, bearing false witness on me. I have the power to forgive my brother for his transgressions against me, right? The same way Yahushua got that power, man. Uh, Matthew chapter 9 and verse 4.
this the book of
Matter of
Matthew,
fact,
chapter.
start at Salaki. Matter of fact, start at the first verse. We'll read down.
Okay, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 9, from the top. And he entered into a ship and passed over, and came into his own city. And behold, they brought to him a man sick of palsy, lying on a bed. And Yahushua, seeing their faith, said unto the sick of the palsy, Son, be of good cheer, thy sins be forgiven. Salakia,
The-
son, be of good cheer, thy sins be forgiven thee.
right. So the man that was sick with palsy, right, laying on his bed, Yahushua saw his faith, man. He saw his faith. And he said unto him, Son, be of good cheer, thy sins be forgiven. Your transgressions are forgiven. Be of good cheer. Right? Read.
And and behold, a certain of the certain and behold, certain of the scribes said within themselves, this man is blasphemous.
Right. So these
And
people are accusing, Salaki, these people are accusing Yahushua of blasphemy, right? Because he said he went to this man that was sick and straight up told him, hey, your sins forgiven. They like, how this nigga know that this man's sins are forgiven? What do he think he the most high or something? Telling this man his sins are forgiven? Right? This is
right.
blasphemy. Verse 4, read.
And Yahushua, knowing their thoughts, said, wherefore think ye evil in your hearts?
Now that's cold. Salakia, now
Right.
that's cold. Because when they was mentioning a blasphemy, that's what they was saying within themselves. Right? That's what they saying on the inner. Oh, this nigga must think he the most high. And
Right.
Yahushua can perceive them thoughts, man. Why you thinking evil in your hearts about? Right? Read verse 5.
For whether is easier to say thy sins be forgiven thee, or to say arise and walk.
Right. So he like, hey, what y'all mad about? Because I told this man his transgressions are no longer it's no more standing, or because I told this man to get up and walk. Right. What y'all mad about? Which one are y'all mad about? Verse 6, read.
But that ye may know that the Son of Man hath power on earth to forgive sins. Then saith he to the sick of the palsy, Arise, take up thy bed, and go unto thine house. And he
Huh,
arose. Okay.
So Yahushua say that ye may know the Son of Man have power or authority on earth to forgive sins. Right? He has power on earth, authority on earth to forgive sin. We have that same power, man. Like I mentioned earlier, you have some civil laws get transgressed against you. You have the power to forgive your neighbor.
Right.
Ultimately, it's up to the Most High if He wants to forgive them, but you have the power bestowed in you to forgive your neighbor for whatever wrongdoing, whatever hurt they put you through. Right? Because it's law. It's law. Right? Go to Leviticus 19 and 17. Baba Kashar. Yahushua told that man, hey man, get up. Arise, take up that bed and go into thy house, man. Get off the streets. Get out of here. Turn away from
This,
your wickedness. You are healed. You are forgiven. Right? Read.
this the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. Thou
Right. So
shalt
we
not.
should Salakia. Read that again out from the top.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart.
Thou
Thou
shalt
shalt.
not hate thy brother in thy heart. Meaning you shouldn't think evil, imagine evil against your brother in your heart, man. Don't hate your brother in your heart. That's the commandment. Thou shalt not hate your brother in your heart. Why you speaking
Right.
evil of me? Why you thinking that I'm blasphemous? Because I said that his sins are forgiven him. Right? Read.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
And you shall correct your neighbor. And don't let your neighbor be engulfed in sin, man. You see your neighbor going off, hey, warn them. Hey, you're not supposed to be doing this according to the Bible. I'm not judging you. I'm just letting you know what the Bible said, and what you're doing is at odds with the Bible, with the
Right.
word of the Most High. I'm not judging you. Hey, you can eat all the swine you want to. You can smoke all the dope you want to. I'm not judging you for that, but the Lord said, don't defile your temple. The Lord said, keep the Levitical law, right? Eat healthy, eat clean, right? Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, meaning correct thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him, man. The next verse, read.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of any of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am Yahweh.
Right. Thou shalt not avenge, meaning get payback, right? Render evil for evil. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge, nor bear any grudge, right? That's resentment for somebody. Having a grudge is having resentment against somebody, right? You don't want that. Because the Most High told us not to do that. Nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Right.
You would want to be forgiven, so you're gonna forgive your neighbor. If I was in my neighbor's shoes, I would want to be forgiven for what I've done. Right? The same way with the unmerciful servant, man. The unmerciful servant was forgiven by the king, right? But he didn't love his neighbor as himself. He didn't put himself in his neighbor's shoes the way that the king humbled himself down and put himself in the unruly servant shoes, man. The king actually humbled himself down and was like, you know what? This man is crying, begging me not to separate him from his family, that he gonna pay me back. You know what, man? You ain't gotta pay me no more, man. You straight. But next thing you know, on the flip side, this man turn around and be unmerciful to somebody that's just like him. He was going against the Levitical law, man, against Leviticus 19 and 18, man. Right? He didn't love his neighbor as himself. He treated his neighbor as a heathen, as an enemy.
Right.
As a real enemy, right? It say, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, meaning you're going to keep the civil laws dealing with your neighbor. And you also going to forgive them if they transgress against you. 70 times 7. That's what our Lord told Peter. Forgive them 70 times 7. You're going to always forgive them.
Right.
Right? Now, when you forgive somebody, you forgive them. But does that mean you have to deal with them? No, you don't have to deal with them once you forgave them. But you ain't got no hate in your heart. You ain't got no resentment or grudge in your heart for this person. You know what I'm saying? But you're wise enough to separate yourself from this person. But yeah, I forgive you. But I'm moving on with my life. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord Yahweh, man. Right? So in this final hour that we in these last days, a lot of our people gonna go back into the world. They're gonna forsake the commandments. They're gonna hold fast to Christianity. Oh, the laws are done away with. I don't have to love my neighbor as myself. Right? But then they want to say, everybody my neighbor. The white man my neighbor, the Chinese man my neighbor, the East Indian man my neighbor. I all of my neighbors. But I don't have to love them no more. Right. It's weird teachings that's out there in these streets, right? The Most High is teaching us in Leviticus 19 on how to deal with our people within our nation alone. He's not talking about those outside of Israel. He's not speaking about the Chinese man, the white man, the Japanese man, loving them as yourself. No, he's talking about his people, and that's a hard pill for a lot of us to swallow, because we bred in America, the melting pot, where we think all of us are the same people. We not. We are not the same people. We have different cultures. We have different taste buds, right? We have a different perspective on reality than these other nations.
We live in two different worlds.
Because we are exalted above all these people that's on the face of the earth. What you say, King?
And we live in two different worlds. We don't live in Esau world. We're a part of it, but we ain't in his world. Every day when we go meet up with Esau at the plantation, he go back to his world, you go back to yours. Curse when you come in, curse when you go out. Right. You know what I'm saying? Esau is in charge of that. His forefathers set that up many moons ago. And they the beneficiaries of that playbook. You want to try Esau, tell him to get rid of these laws, that these archaic racist slave laws. They ain't gonna do that. That's where how you expose them. They not gonna do that. So
now I got a precept. This
Bring it out.
First Peter chapter 4 and verse 1. I'm gonna read down to 3. When y'all got it, say con.
Con.
Got it, Malak?
Con.
First Peter chapter 4, verse 1, and it reads, for as much then as Christ hath suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. For he that hath suffered in the flesh hath ceased from sin, that he no longer should live in the rest of his time in the flesh to be the lust of man, but to the will of Yahweh. For the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles when we walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, reviling, Salakia,
Banqueting.
banquetings, and abominable idolatry. So basically, like you were saying, brother, we must follow after the example of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man. We got to move in that type of spirit. Like we can't have that, like you were saying, like that hate for our brothers and all that wickedness, man. We got to move as he moved. We got to have that same mindset. So, and that comes with changing, renewing getting rid of that old man. Because a lot of our people, man, they stuck battling with that old man, man, and they haven't changed. So they still got that hatred. They still holding grudges. They still got that hate in their eye for their brother. So make sure that we keeping, we're following the example that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, he left for us to follow. He left us an example, and a lot of our people are not following it. I just wanted to add on to what you were saying earlier with that.
Yeah, that's a powerful passage right there. 1 Peter 4:1, it say, for as much then as Yahweh shall have suffered for us in the flesh, he say, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. When you arm yourself, that means you finna get protected, right? Like if you get an AR, if you get an AK, or you get some
prepared.
pistols, you arming yourself. You preparing yourself for war. He said, arm yourself with the same mind of Yahweh Shai.
Yeah.
Yahweh Shai was a law-abiding citizen, man. It say, for he have suffered in the flesh, he that have suffered in the flesh have ceased from sin. Meaning you're no longer going to hold grudges, like the brother just said. You're no longer going to have an evil eye towards your brother once you wake up and arm yourself with the same mind as Christ.
Right.
I'm going to show mercy to my people because Christ's going to show mercy to his people.
Right.
I'm going to forgive my brother for his sins because Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Christ, is going to forgive his brother for his sins, man. Even when he was on the cross being put to death, he still told the Most High, hey, forgive them, for they know not what they doing, man. He still told the Most High to forgive them. Right? Because the merciful is going to be showed mercy. Blessed is the merciful, because you're going to receive mercy. Right? That's a powerful passage, man.
And Salaki,
right?
Moses did the same thing. Moses had mercy on his people. He prayed to the Most High when Korah and them went off. He prayed to the Most High to have mercy on Miriam when she went off. He was very merciful, and that's how. And he was definitely, like you was teaching, King. Moses was humble and meek. He was definitely that.
He was begging for us, man, for our people. He was begging, man, for the Most High.
And show some favor.
Let's get that. Let's get that. Let's go to Exodus 32:11. Exodus 32:11. We might start up a little higher.
You want to start it with what, like
9? Start when the Most High starts snapping on us. Start at 7.
32.
Yeah, that's how I was going to start 7. At God's wrath against Israel. All right. Exodus chapter 32, verse 7. And the Lord said unto Moses, go get thee down for thy people, and thou broughtest out of the land of Egypt, have corrupted themselves. They have turned
they built the golden calf. They built the golden Salaki. They built the golden calf while Moses was on top of the mountain, and Aaron was, trying to keep the crowd at bay, and he told him to give him the golden earrings to build the golden calf.
Right.
So the Most High, he pissed off, right? He's pissed off with Israel. He ain't pissed off with the whole world. He's pissed off with Israel, his people. Read.
They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. They have made them a molten calf and have worshipped it and have sacrificed thereunto and said, Please be thy gods, O Israel, which have brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And the Lord said unto
Read.
Moses, And the Lord said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people.
Right.
Now,
So the Most High
therefore,
is Salaki King. The Most High is communicating with Moses. Right. He said, I done seen these folks, man. I seen these people. They hard-headed. They stiff-necked. They rebellious as hell. Right? Why do I need to continue to deal with these people? Read.
and the Lord's now therefore let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them, and that I may consume them, and I will make of thee a great nation.
Hey, the Most High told Moses, now therefore, let me alone. Leave me alone. Don't say nothing to me about these people. I don't want to hear nothing. Leave me alone, Moses. That's what the Most High telling him. Now therefore, let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them. Right? Let me judge these niggas, man.
Hey, I'm mad now.
Don't pray for them. Don't make a
Right, stop.
supplication. Don't make a
Right.
petition. I don't want to hear nothing. Let me release my indignation on these people real quick, and I'm gonna make a great nation out of you, Moses. I'm gonna start from scratch. I'm finna start from scratch and make a great nation out of you. Read.
And mind you too, like
Salaki.
that's scary. That's scary to be in Moses' situation, to where like the Most High is mad, and now you got to try to calm him down and try to, hey, let me plead for the people.
God.
Hey, don't, hey, Lord, don't be mad at us, please. Don't be mad at the people. And that's just scary, man. Because
Yeah.
the Most High can kill you.
Salakia, right? This is why, for me, Exodus was a really important book, because what it did was illustrate the characteristics of the Most High,
Right.
and the characteristics of the Israelites. The Most High just said, Moses, keep quiet about this, man. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do to them. They just pissing me off. Don't come over here pleading for them no more, man. I don't want to hear that shit.
And
That's what the Most High just said.
And then he went right to pleading.
Right.
Said, I hear
Hey,
you, Lord, but
hey, the Most High talking about these niggas like they ain't nobody. Like this
Right.
is Moses. This is Moses's nephew, his cousins, his uncles, his best friend. You know what I'm saying? All
right.
his family. You know what I'm saying? The Most High say, I'm finna kill all these niggas and start over with you.
Yeah, he's
Right?
like, don't worry about them.
Don't say
Right.
nothing to me. Don't say nothing to me, Moses. I'm finna flame all of them up, right? Verse number 11.
But what's tight is
Salaki.
what's tight is, King, it shows you that the Most High, he kind of like Moses had to kind of like give him a reminder. He was like, hey man, hey, you said X, Y, and Z before, so you know what I mean? And then he like, oh yeah, you right. You know what I mean? It's like the Most High, the characteristics, it just show you that we're really made in his image. Like the way we communicate, the way we move, it's like, that's tight, man. Go ahead,
We
King.
need to bring more of these scriptures right here out, because we got to break that stronghold that all this God is love doctrine and Christ is going to come back. Oh, my son, I'll give you the. That's just not real, man. Yahweh said, man, Yahweh said, I'm finna deal with him. This the same man that killed everybody and left 8 people.
Hey, when you ask people, all they think about is Yahweh Shai with the thing over his head, and then they play that little music.
Oh, yeah, crazy. Hey, yo,
Right,
and
right,
that they swear Yahweh Shai gonna come back like Chuck Willery. Like
Right,
the love connection, I'll be back in 2 and 2.
right.
Yahweh Shai coming with a sword, man.
You coming to kill, boy. Hey,
And imagine his sword, right? You out here talking to students and brothers trying to be humble servants who don't have the understanding of Yahweh Shah. So can you imagine what his sword gonna be like?
right,
We already cutting up everybody with this sword.
right. Let's get
With
it, King.
the little understanding.
Get
This
that.
thing hurt, man, when you walk up and you believe that your faith gonna get you into the kingdom.
Right.
This thing cuts you sharp.
Mm-hmm.
This thing cuts you sharp when it tell you that you can you imagine how Esau feel when he walk up and he say he know God and he start babbling off these scriptures, and then you go to Psalms 147 and 19 and it say he don't know y'all. Y'all don't know him. Y'all don't know his judgments or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
He has not dealt with y'all. This thing cut, man. And you've been reading this book for 20 years and never read that verse.
Yeah. Let's get to
Con. Let's get back.
that
Let's
verse
get back
11.
to it. Get verse 11.
Oh, Salaki. And Moses besought the Lord for his God and said, Lord, why doth thy wrath wax hot against thy people, which thou hast brought forth out of the land of Egypt with great power and with a mighty hand?
Right,
Wherefore,
read.
wherefore should the Egyptians speak and say, for mischief did he bring them out to slay them in the mountains and to consume them from the face of the earth? Turn from thy fierce wrath and repent of this evil against thy people.
Hey,
Yeah,
Right.
he,
So
that was
this is
deep.
Moses, Salakia. This is Moses playing the mediator, man. Moses is mediating for the children of Israel because the Most High is trying to destroy us for our wickedness, for our idolatry, our blasphemy, us turning aside away from the commandments. This is Moses stepping in on the behalf of the children of Israel, for everybody, for all of us, saying, "Hey, please turn away your wrath, man. Repent of this evil. What if you brought them out of Egypt? You delivered them and smote the Egyptians, and you come out here to the wilderness and kill them. The Egyptians gonna be like, damn, he destroyed us and took them to the wilderness to destroy them. They Everybody will think the Most High wicked if you
Right.
if you really put it in perspective. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Repent of this evil against our people, man. He just saying, be remorseful. Turn away from these things that you thinking to do to your own people. Verse 13, read.
Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, thy servants, to whom thou swearest by thy own self, and saidest unto them, I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven, and all this land that I have spoken of will I give unto your seed, and they shall inherit it forever.
All right. So Moses told him to remember the covenant that he made with Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, man. right? Remember the promises. Remember, you can't destroy these people like that, man. You made a promise to Abraham. Remember how Abraham was a righteous and faithful servant. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, or Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, if it wasn't for them, man, the Most High would have probably been destroyed us, man. But he made promises with them in the beginning, and he keep his promise. The Most High gonna keep his promise. Man might not keep his promise, but the Most High is gonna always keep his promise, right? Verse number 14.
And the Lord repented of the evil which he thought to do unto his people. So he turned away from
cremating us.
Right. Facts.
From killing us, boy.
He was gonna kill all the tribes, man. And Moses
Man,
was vouching for us. He was
Moses
petitioning for
came
us.
strong. Moses came at him strong. What? He came, he was an advocate. He came on some Johnny Cochran right there, man.
He was the lawyer.
Pleading for us.
He was the lawyer.
What?
Right. And now that's the stead of Yahushua. Yahushua is in the stead of Moses now, where he's vouching for us. He's petitioning for us. He's telling the Most High not to slaughter us, man. That's Yahushua doing.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
what our Lord and Savior Hamashiach Yahushua doing right now. Hey, they gonna repent. Give them a little more grace period. They gonna repent. They gonna get it right. A few of them is, at least. Right? A few of us gonna get it right. Just have some mercy on them. Continue to show that mercy. That's why we got to be merciful, man. Moses showed that meekness and that humility, that humbleness for his people.
right.
He showed that mercy and compassion. Moses showed that mercy and compassion before the Most High showed it. You know what I'm saying? Moses showed that mercy and compassion on his people before the Most High showed it, because the Most High was ready to knock us off.
Yeah, he was trying to do away with us.
And that's why
he was trying to do away with us, man.
In that situation, he got put in the rock, man, because he like, man, I've been fighting and I've been scrambling and scraping, fighting for y'all, and then y'all still keep messing up. Like, damn.
Israel stressed Moses the hell out. We stressed out Yahweh.
For real.
We know how to stress people out. We don't know how to do nothing else. We know how to stress somebody out.
Can you imagine
we professional stressor outers.
Right. The most humblest brother too. The Lord, because the Lord's illustration and characterization of Moses was he was the humblest man, and he was the friend of Yahweh. Like, come on, you got to be somebody special. And us as Israel, being the vile demons we are, we out there, motherfucking putting the press on him. Man, oh man, you don't know what you're talking about. Move over, man. You know what I mean? Korah in the wilderness, like, man, nah, man. He's still vouching for us, man. That's some mercy.
Yeah.
I think about that all the time too, right? When I get into it with my rib, it's one thing that always stick with me, man. You gotta, if you want forgiveness, you gotta forgive, man.
Gotta forgive.
You got to, man. It ain't gonna work. You ain't gonna receive it, man. You always preach that, man. All praise to the Most High, Kadash. You always preach that.
All praises.
Calm.
That's what our Lord taught us, man. We gotta model after him, man. You gotta really follow Christ. Like he said, arm yourself with the same mind as Christ.
Right.
Right. They had a little term back in when the Y2K hit, that WWJD, what would Jesus do? Hey, what would Jesus do? Now you really got, hey, what would Yahushua do in this situation? Would he show this nigga mercy, or would he cast him out? You know what I'm saying? You have to really arm yourself with the mind of Yahushua.
Yeah, you do.
Say what, King?
I said, yeah, you do. You gotta think like that when you making decisions. That's why they say don't be so hasty. You can't be hasty in moving. When you move, you gotta really meditate on it before you make a move. Be like, so you don't have to second guess that I make the right decision. You know you made the right decision.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 1. 1 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 1. Now, a lot of our people is just not going to grasp the concept. They indoctrinated with the philosophies of this world. They indoctrinated with what's been taught as a child. They are indoctrinated with the wisdom and understanding of their captors. The oppressors have fed them slave knowledge of these scriptures, man. Just like when brothers brought out last night, when the young brother walked up on us and Malak was teaching and he was like, "Oh yeah, my people Baptist. I was raised Baptist." And you pointed to that sign and showed him John Smith, the invention of the Baptist religion. It's like our people walking around with that knowledge from 1609 or whatever year that was, 1684, whatever year it was. They walking around with that same knowledge from 4 centuries ago, man. From 4 centuries ago.
Cause he ain't know that. He looked at that picture. You seen his expression when he looked at that picture and put it all together?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He had to walk away because I can't remember what is it shame, embarrassment, knowing that you've been walking around believing a lie. You gotta
Yeah,
run from it.
it's shameful, man. It make you
Man,
think like my whole life I've been being taught a lie, and here goes somebody just like you say, shattering my world with the truth. Your whole world shattered when somebody tell you the truth because you have been believing a lie. You believed it to be true. You believed this lie that was told to you by your parents, by your father, your mother, your cousin, your uncle, your auntie, whomever, the pastor. You believe this lie. So you feel discouraged in a sense, knowing that you've been lied to and knowing that you believed it, or I believed the lie. I got bamboozled. Yeah, you're going to feel some type of way, man. We felt some type of way finding out this truth, man. We still feel some type of way. Oh, these people are capable of feeding us lies, and we are capable of believing these lies if we're not careful, man. Right?
Right.
Bring that out, King.
1 Timothy 4 and 1.
Con.
All right, this is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 4 from the top. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils.
Right. So
Speaking
Salakia, King. So the Spirit speaketh expressly, freely, right? The Spirit gonna speak. It gonna speak expressly, meaning freely. That in the latter time, the times we living in now, people are going to depart from the faith, right? They gonna depart from the faith in Hamashiach Yahushua. They gonna part from the faith of the Most High, right? And it says they gonna give heed to seducing spirits, spirits that seduce you to turn away from the law, statutes, and commandments, spirits that seduce you to turn away from following Christ, and doctrines of devils and teachings of devils. Yeah, Yahweh ain't teach you this, man. But when you read the Bible don't teach you to go against the commandments. The Bible don't teach you to have an evil eye towards your neighbor. The Bible don't teach you that you could celebrate whatever damn tradition you want to celebrate. The Bible don't teach you that, right? But people gonna give heed to those seducing spirits, meaning they gonna consider and act upon those seducing spirits. And doctrines of devils, man, doctrines of deceivers, teachings of deceivers, right? Verse 2.
Speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron.
Right, speaking lies, falsehoods, and hypocrisy. Right? They speak in lies and hypocrisy. A hypocritical person is always lying. Somebody that's a hypocrite is always lying. Somebody that's saying something but doing another thing, they always lying. They double-minded. They unstable. Right? Speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. Right? Just like as if you would brand a cow, their conscience is seared. If you would brand a brain with the logo of the beast, right? You brand their brain with the logo of 666, and that's their conscience is seared with that. It ain't going nowhere. So no matter how much you try to show them the scriptures, hey man, we got to forgive our neighbor, or we got to be merciful, right? You got to be humble and meek to inherit the kingdom. They just, no, Jesus gonna save me. I got faith. I ain't got to do nothing that you talking about. I got faith in Jesus. I believe in him. That's it. I'm gonna get into the kingdom. I'm getting into the kingdom. That's their mentality. They conscience are seared with a hot iron. That's the mark of the beast, man. That's the mark of the beast. They conscience is seared with a hot iron. They could follow the ways of the beast, but Christ still loved them, and they're gonna make it to the kingdom of heaven. Right? You're not following Hamashiach Yahushua celebrating pagan tradition. You're not following Yahushua having a Levi towards your neighbor. You're not following Yahushua if you don't correct your people when they going off. If you don't say something, you're not following Yahushua. But they still expect to be saved, which is that shit is outrageous, man. That's an outrageous mentality to have. Right? They ain't got to put forth no works. All they got to have is faith. Oh, my faith gonna get me into the kingdom. My faith alone. The scriptures don't teach you that.
Right.
Your works alone ain't gonna get you. Your faith alone ain't gonna get you. You got to have both simultaneously. Faith and works together. They coincide. They complement each other. You're not going to get in with your works alone. You're not going to get in with your faith alone. You got to have both. But in their mind, in their conscience, it's seared with a hot iron. Faith alone, I'm good. I believe in Jesus. I'm good.
Right.
Right? That's the mentality of our people. And no matter how much you tell them, they just not going to get it, man. They're just not going to understand. So don't frustrate yourself with those who haven't been given this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Have patience. Be merciful. Right? Go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12 and verse 9.
This is the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, verse 9. Not that thou was unable to bring the ungodly under the hand of the righteous in battle, or to destroy them at once with cruel beasts, or with one rough word.
So, like you start at verse number. Start at verse number 5. Matter of fact, start at verse number 4. Salaki. Verse number 4.
Come. Whom thou hatest for doing most odious works of witchcraft and wicked sacrifices, and also those merciless murderers of children and devourers of men's flesh, and the feast of blood, with their priests out of the midst of their idolatrous crew, and the parents that killed with their own hands souls destitute of help, that the land which thou esteemed above all other might receive a worthy colony of God's children.
All right, so what we're reading, the context is the Most High is rebuking the Canaanites, right? He is rebuking the Canaanites. He going in verse 4, he said, whom thou hatest for doing the most odious works of witchcraft and wicked sacrifices. So the Most High hated these Hamites, man. He hated this group of people, right? God don't love everybody. He just says he hated them for doing the most odious works of witchcraft and wicked sacrifices, right? They are merciless, though, and those merciless murders murderers of children. So our enemies, which are the heathen nations that go against the Most High, they don't show mercy, right? They are devourers of men's flesh, and they feast on blood. They drink blood, right? They drink adrenochrome, children's blood. That's who Esau adopted all his customs from, these damn Hamites, man. Back in Genesis, Esau was dealing with these Hamitic people after Isaac told him not to deal with these people, don't marry into the Hamitic nation. He grieved his mother and father by marrying into the Hamitic nation, man. Right? So the context is the Most High is rebuking the Canaanites. And we know that in verse 7, it say that land, which is the promised land, which thou esteemest above all other, because the Most High chose the land of Canaan to make the promised land there for us, right? Which thou esteemest above all other, might receive a worthy colony of the Most High's children. And the children of Israel is that worthy colony of that land, right? Just to put it in context so y'all know what y'all reading, right? Verse number 8.
Nevertheless, even those thou sparedest as men, and didst send wasps, forerunners of thine host, to destroy them by little and little.
Right, so the Most High destroyed these Canaanites out of their land little by little. He moved them out for us, right? He sent wasps, which is a part of his army, to torment them, to terrorize them, right? They got to move. You got to get away. The wasp problem not going away. They got to move, right? They had no remedy for that. So they had to move, destroying them off little by little. He didn't just destroy them all at once. He plagued them little by little and got them out that land, got that land prepared for us, right? Verse number 9.
Not that thou was unable to bring the ungodly under the hand of the righteous in battle, or to destroy them at once with cruel beasts, or with one rough word.
Right, not that thou was unable to bring the ungodly under the hand of the righteous in battle. He like, no, I could have sent y'all in there and went to war with them and made y'all win as the result. Right, I could have destroyed them with the hands of Israel. Right, he could have destroyed the Canaanites by the hands of Israel. It says, or to destroy them all at once, so like it, or to destroy them at once with cruel beasts. The Most High could have sent the damn stampede of animals in there to destroy the Canaanites. You know, he could have if he wanted to. That wasn't the option he chose. Or with one rough word, right? One rough word is us bringing out this truth to them and destroying them with the gospel.
Right.
Right? We could have just went over there and destroyed the kingdom with the gospel. One rough word. Right? With the word of the Most High. One rough word. Verse number 10.
But executing thy judgments upon them by little and little, thou gavest them place of repentance, but not being ignorant that they were a naughty generation, and that their malice was bred in them, and that their cogitation would never be changed.
Right. So it says, but executing thy judgments upon them little by little, thou gavest them place of repentance. Not being ignorant that they were a naughty generation, they knew that they was wicked and that their malice was bred in them. They was programmed to be wicked, and that their cogitation would never be changed, right? So hold that. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 16 and verse 3, because this simultaneously goes to the children of Israel too. It's rebuking Canaan, it's condemning Canaan, but it's also condemning wicked Israel who follow the ways of the Canaanites. You know what I'm saying? Because our people was in that land The Most High told us to destroy all the Canaanites out their land, but we chose not to do what the Most High say. So he was like, okay, y'all didn't want to kill all the Canaanites. I'm going to keep them round about you just in case y'all go off. As soon as y'all go off, I'm going to let these heathens rule over you. And that's what happened. We went off. In the book of Judges, you see, we went off continuously, following the ways of the Canaanites. Like we do today, man. Our people follow the ways of Canaan, Edom, Esau, and the other nations, right?
Right.
Ezekiel 16:3.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 16, verse 3. And say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh unto Jerusalem, thy birth and thy nativity is of the land of Canaan. Thy father was an Amorite, and thy mother an Hittite.
Right. So thus said the Lord Yahweh unto Jerusalem, thy birth and nativity is of the land of Canaan, right? Right? Meaning we following the ways of these Canaanites. We done adopted their customs. We worship their gods, Baal, Molech, right? We sacrifice unto idols by doing that. He say thy father was an Amorite, and thy mother a Hittite. Meaning that's who raised y'all. These nations of people raised y'all to go against me. Right? So jumping back to Wisdom of Solomon 12 and verse number 10, right? Read verse number 10 again.
But executing thy judgments upon them by little and little, thou gavest them place of repentance, not being ignorant that they were a naughty generation, and that their malice was bred in them, and that their cogitation would never be changed, or their nature would never be changed.
Right. So not being ignorant that they were a naughty generation, right? We became a generation that didn't know the Most High, and that our malice was bred in us from birth. We was born, our birth in nativity was of the land of Canaan, right? Our malice was bred in us the same way our malice was bred in us over here in America. We was taught to hate each other. We was taught to have an evil eye towards our neighbor. We was taught to fornicate. We was taught to be an adulterer or a thief, a robber, right? We was taught these things by our oppressors, by our enemies, right? Even the damn cartoon Family Guy say, all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV. We was programmed. That's why it's called predictive programming. We was programmed through entertainment and television to be wicked. That's where we learned all our wickedness from. Also being a product of our also being a product of our environment, we adapt wicked customs too. You know what I'm saying? Being in poverty, being poverty stricken, we adapted wickedness in that, right? Not to mention Esau dropping off dope in our communities, putting drugs in our neighborhoods, and lock us up for selling them and using them, destroying us with witchcraft and sorcery. Right? But it says, and that their malice was bred in them, and that their cogitation would never be changed. Let me look up this word cogitation. Right? Cogitation. The meaning of cogitation is the act of thinking deeply about something, contemplating, right? Meaning thought, consideration, reflection, pondering, thinking. So their thinking, their mentality would never be changed, right? You was bred with malice. You was bred to be wicked, and now your mentality would never be changed. That's scary hours. Your mindset not being renewed and coming back to the laws of the Most High. That's the mentality of our people. They've been merciless their whole life. They're gonna continue to be merciless. They've been holding grudges their whole life. They're gonna continue to hold grudges, right? Because that malice was bred in them, and their connotation would never be changed. Meaning, their conscience is seared with a hot iron, like we just went into in 1 Timothy 4:2. Their conscience is seared with a hot. They following the ways of the beast, and that's it. Ain't no coming back to the laws of God. Ain't no more coming back to the laws of God. to the faith in Christ, right? Ain't no coming back to the true doctrine of the scriptures, meaning keep my commandments and keep the faith. Ain't none of that. They're gonna continue to celebrate their pagan customs. They're gonna continue to eat abominable foods. They're gonna continue to be niggas and whores and harlots. They ain't nothing gonna change about them. That's why the Most High say, don't be discouraged when you come into a city and they don't receive this message. Just shake off the dust of your feet, man. Meaning let it go. Don't let that worry you, man. The Most High even say, don't pray for these people. Their cogitation will never be changed. You're talking to a brick wall, literally. I want my brothers in their mind. I want my mother to change. I want my father to come into this glorious light. I want my children to follow the ways of Yahushua. But you're talking to a brick wall. They thinking will never be changed. They don't want to receive the spirit. They don't want to receive the spirit of truth. They just don't give a damn about it. They more concerned about the fashions of this world, the affairs of this life. They more concerned about pleasing the beast, following the ways of devils, seducing spirits, giving into temptations constantly, not apologizing for it, not getting back up when they fall. Their cogitation would never be changed, man. Right? And we got to be strong enough to deal with those type of individuals. You got to shake the dust off your feet. You want to be merciless? You don't want to forgive your people for their sins? Okay, that's you, man. That's on you, man. You got to deal with the Most High, not me. You know what I'm saying? It's a dangerous path that we walking, but we done showed them the path. Walking this straight and narrow path, when you go into, matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Straight and narrow. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 7 and verse 14. You on mute. You on mute, King.
Salakia. I'm gonna start at 13.
Fine.
All right. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 13. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Few there be that find it.
Right. That's a powerful read. Start from where you
14,
started at. Well, that was verse what?
13 and 14.
Yeah, start at verse 13 again.
Okay, come. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat.
Right. So
Be-
Salakia. So broad is the way to destruction, right? Meaning that a multitude of people are going to receive that destruction. The Most High teaches us in the law, do not follow a multitude to do evil. When you go to Exodus 32 in the second verse, don't follow a multitude to do evil, because broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. It's a narrow path that you got to go through, man. Not many people are going to find that path. Read.
Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it.
Right. Straight is the gate and narrow is the way. Right. When you go into that word narrow, it goes into danger. Right. When you go into that word narrow, it goes into danger or dangerous. Right. It's a dangerous route that we following. That straight and narrow is a dangerous path. Why is that path so dangerous? Because you're living in a beast system trying to be righteous. You're living in hell trying to be righteous. So you're going to be condemned. You're going to be persecuted. Right? You're going to be lied upon. You're going to be lied to. Shalom, mighty king. Shalom. You're going to be lied to. You're going to be lied on and persecuted, man, for righteousness' sake. It's a dangerous route. Family going to turn you over to the authorities, man. Some of you going to get put to death for this word. It's a dangerous path. The straight and narrow path is dangerous, man. And it'd be a few people that find it. It'd be a few of us that actually find this kingdom, man. Right? Verse number 13 again. Let me read verse 13 again. Enter ye at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. And many there be which go in thereat, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way. Straight is the gate, narrow is the way that leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. It's only a few of us that's going to find that path, man. Right? Go to the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 7, and let's start at verse 1. 2nd Esdras, chapter 7, and verse 1.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, from the top. And when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me an angel which had been sent unto me the nights afore. And he said unto me, Up, Esdras, and hear the words that I am come to tell thee. And I said, My God, speak. And he said to me, The sea is set in a wide place, whose depth is immeasurable, but it has a narrow entrance, which is like unto the rivers. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it, if he went not through the narrow? How could he come into the broad? Oh, I got that.
Right. So verse 4 say, but put the case, the entrance would narrow like a river. So like a river is slim. It's a narrow body of water. It's a slim body of water. Who could then go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? So the river leads to a great ocean, a great body of water. But you gotta go through the
The
river.
narrow
You gotta go through that narrow path to get to that big body of water. That's us going through the straight and narrow path. Yeah, the river might get dangerous, might have currents, might have rocks, might have some wild fish in there, right? Some fish that might try to attack you, some piranhas, some alligators. You never know. It's a dangerous path. But once you get through that path, you're going to go to a big body of water, the kingdom, right? Metaphorically. Verse 6.
Verse 6. There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, and set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there was a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water. And
Right.
on
So this city is a representation of the kingdom of heaven, and it's a field full of good things, man. Right? It's a field full of good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, though. It's a narrow entrance, a slim entrance to this wide and broad field full of good things, right? But it's set in a dangerous place. It's narrow and it is set in a dangerous place to fall. So it's as if you're walking on a hilltop that's slim, right? But when you look down, you have fire on one side, you have deep dark water on the other side. If you fall, you dead. Either side you fall on, you're either gonna get burnt up or you're gonna drown, right? But if you make it through this narrow path, if you make it through this dangerous path, you're gonna enter into the kingdom of heaven. You're gonna enter into this broad field with good things, man. And it's worth the risk. It's worth the risk to take this dangerous route to inherit something good. Read.
Right. And you have to look at it too. Like it's like in a sense of, say all hell break loose and we moving, right? But we moving like with the masses. It's easily to be seen. It's easily for you to be a target now because it's so many of y'all. But it's dangerous when you're by yourself, like when you're with a small group. But it's more safer at the same time because you don't have those numbers behind you drawing attention. And,
Right.
you know what I mean? So if you look at
Huh.
it in that aspect too, like even when you watch these movies, when you know when the world ending type of movies, when they move, it's the people that survive is the people that's moving solo, that's moving with a small group, that's moving in a you know it's a few of them and they moving strategically. But when the people in the masses, those are the ones that get killed, get raped, get murdered, like all the stuff happen to them, get tortured because there's so many of them. Oh, it's easy to see you. It's easy for you to get caught.
Con.
You know.
That remind me of that movie. You're right. That remind me of that movie, Quiet Place, the new one that just came out with the little creatures. If you make noise, they come and get you.
Yeah, Quiet Place.
You got to be quiet. So
You see when they were moving
in New York, and they was walking in the middle of the street.
You're right.
And it was a multitude of people. And old girl was looking like, she was
I'm
like,
not
why they
following
walking?
these
She
niggas.
started seeing that the ground was shaking. They was hitting the car. Like it got loud. And the
Right.
thing, the little creatures came out and attacked everybody because they heard them. But they
Right.
was moving by the masses. When she was by herself, she was straight. But as
Right.
soon as she started moving with that multitude, them creatures came down and started devouring their ass, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
So yeah, it's better to move in a small number.
Yep.
Broad is the way to hell, man. Don't follow a multitude to do evil. That's the way to destruction.
Hey, that's a
Everybody
perfect example. That's a perfect example, man, that movie, man, because that's the same analogy that the Bible is talking about. Like you moving in that broad road, like it's easy for you to get killed. But
right.
it's still just as dangerous you moving by yourself, but it's still safer at the same time because you ain't got to worry about all them damn people.
Yeah.
I'm looking
You
at
can't be led astray.
Y'all walking in a single foul line, just like she was moving with old boy. She was moving with him. They was fucking up, but still they was able to. If it was like 4 or 5 more of them, people would have started getting killed. You see what I'm saying? So it's
I
still
got
better to move like that. You know. Go ahead, King.
Salakia, verse 5, right? Let me read that again. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it if he went not through the narrow gate? How could he come into the broad? So I'm looking at this and I'm saying, who could go into the sea and look upon it and to rule it, right? So this parable to me, I'm seeing where Yahweh said, "He that endured to the end, he gonna give rulership to all of the nations." King, that's what this
Yeah, that's the
talking
kingdom of
about.
heaven.
King,
That's the
you
kingdom
got
of
to
heaven,
endure
rulership.
to the end. You got to endure. You got to endure to the end, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments in order to receive rulership of all the nations.
That's right. That's right, King. It's a dangerous path, but somebody got to walk through it, man. We got to walk through that dangerous path, right? Go to verse 8.
Verse 8, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could be one man go there at once.
Right, like the brother just said, a single file line. The one path between them both, even between the fire and water, that little dangerous path that we walking on, is so small that only one person can go through at a time.
Right. Because
Only
you in
one
charge
person
of
can
your
go
own
through at a time.
salvation.
Right, that's it. Everybody ain't on this path. It's not a lot of people that's taking this route. Everybody else on that other path to destruction. Because it's a wide, it's safe. You could roll, you could slip, you could fall and get back up and keep going. You fall and slip and roll on this path that we on, you might land in some fire or you might land in some damn water and can't get out. You know what I'm saying? We on a dangerous path. This truth is dangerous, man. This ain't nothing to take lightly, right? We battling real demons trying to get to the kingdom. If this world is against us, we got to understand that this whole entire earth is against the children of the Most High. Read verse 9.
Verse 9, if this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance?
You're not going to be able to receive this inheritance if you don't go down this straight and narrow, dangerous path that we on.
If you ain't
That
going,
straight and narrow path is a straight and dangerous path that we on. That's it. It's a dangerous walk. This walk is dangerous, man. The most dangerous walk you ever been on in your life, man, is walking with the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Because even though he passed me, I perceive him not. We don't know when the Most High is around us. We don't perceive him. We don't see him. But he watching everything that we do at all times, man.
it's
It's a
lucky.
dangerous path. He set up stumbling blocks. He set up cherubims to keep. It took me, no lie, I still haven't finished the lesson. I've been trying to watch this one particular lesson for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And I cannot, it's always something coming up. Always something in the way of me just sitting down and watching this lesson. Like I haven't watched the movie, I haven't watched the TV show. I can't watch nothing. But I've been specifically trying to watch this one lesson to get edified, and I'm only halfway through the lesson. Like I got halfway through the other day, where I'm able to take my notes and kind of pull information. I'm only halfway through the lesson. The Most High set up cherubims to keep us away from doing certain things. We have to work for it.
Yeah.
Just like we got to work for the kingdom. Man, how bad do you want to complete this lesson? How bad do you want the kingdom?
And
You
that's
know
what
what I'm saying? Because more people, he say, don't follow a multitude to do evil because more people are going to perish than be saved. Let me get one more precept. Let's go to Second Esdras, chapter 9. Is that what we on?
no,
We
we
at 7.
Oh,
We
we
at
in 7.
7.
Okay, Second Esdras, chapter 9 and verse 15. Baba Kashar.
yeah, man. That's why the Lord tell us too. Hey, prepare your soul for temptation, man. So the moment you come in this truth, man, all hell about to break loose, man. It's about to get real.
It's about to get real.
That's why he said prepare
For
yourself.
real, scary hours.
Hey, scary all the time now.
Yo, we gotta look at it, man. We gotta look at it, man. Everybody who is teaching this truth like H.O.I, man, they got tortured, man.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
H.O.I got tortured for teaching this truth. That's how I know. That for me, that's the underlying factor. Like, bro, if your pastor, if y'all steady running and bringing your pastor money and y'all loving to sit in the church and be there Tuesday and Thursday, I don't know about you, but the way I was taught, these scriptures be cutting the hell out me. I'm not hearing a bunch of good things, man. And Yahweh-Shai say he taught like it said Yahweh-Shai taught with authority, not like the scribes.
Right,
he taught. So basically, it was saying the scribes was teaching you the law, but Yahweh-Shai was speaking to you with authority, like you going to do this, you going to do that. It's not going to be that same situation like the scribes is expressing the law to you how Moses told you the law. He was teaching with authority. Like when he went there with the scourges and the whips, he wasn't teaching the way that the Christian church be telling us he taught. He was stern and austere. His words was this book was a sword. He was swinging this thing.
King. Yeah, we're gonna get this precept and close out. We're gonna get this precept and close out. Go to Second Ezra chapter 9 and verse number 14.
It's the book of Second Ezra, chapter 9, verse 14. Then answered I and said, I have said it before and still say, and will also say it again, that there are more of them that shall be lost than of them that shall be saved. Like as of the waves, there are more than the drop. Let me read that.
What version are you reading out of, King?
Who, me?
Yeah.
King James, 1611.
Okay, the 1611. Okay. I'm gonna read it again. It says from verse 14. Then answered I and said, I have said before, and now do I speak, and will speak it also hereafter, that there be many more of them which perish than of them which shall be saved. So it's going to be more people that perish than be saved. Everybody not going to be saved, even out of the children of Israel, right? Even out of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel, because this is who we're speaking about, right? Many more of them going to perish than shall be saved, like as a wave is greater than a drop, right? So like a wave of people is going to be destroyed and a drop is going to be saved.
Right.
If you can imagine that. You know what I'm saying? A great wave of people is going to be destroyed because they go into that wide and broad path, following the multitude to do evil. It's going to be a much greater amount of them. 2/3 is going to be destroyed, and that 1/3, that drop, is going to be saved. You know what I'm saying? Because they chose to not. They chose to not change their cogitation. They chose to have their conscience sealed with a hot iron. They don't want to apply the laws, statutes, and commandments to their life. They don't want to keep the civil laws. They don't want to love their neighbor as they self. Right? They want to be wicked. They want to follow the beast, man. So they will be destroyed and they will not inherit the kingdom, man.
And we've seen this already.
Say what, King?
Salakia, we've seen this already. He came through with the wave and he saved 8 people.
Hit them with a tsunami.
We already seen this. Mass destruction.
Yeah, man. That's when the earth perished the first time, but it's about to perish again with nuclear fire, man. All praises to the Most High, man. But that concludes the class for today, man. We could, spend the rest of our time with our families, get edified, eat good, sleep good. You know what I'm saying? All glorification to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shah. All praise.
All praise.